Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about self-diagnostics as well, right? Because I'm going to make this complete series and I have already created two videos on self-diagnostics for not Exchange, but for other areas of Microsoft 365, right? And I have uploaded those videos, so those videos would be available or those will be posted soon, right? And you can go ahead and watch those as well. But now you might be wondering why I'm creating or making these videos, right? So the purpose of this video is to let you know, or the people who don't know what are the self-helps or self-help diagnostics and how those can help them, right? And this is not only for that purpose, but still, even there are many people who are entering into the IT roles, be it L1 role, L2 role, L3 role, or anyone, right? So these are very great help for all of those people who are working on different roles within Microsoft 365 ecosystem or within a Microsoft ecosystem, in short, right? Because every organization is relying on cloud services, cloud systems, right? And if you see, almost 95% organizations are already using Microsoft 365, right? It's not like it could be the higher than 95% as well, because there are many organizations who are still relying on hybrid environment where they have on-premises environment, which is configured or set up with cloud, and they're using different services, applications, and everything together. But still, they do also need help across Microsoft 365 services, and that is why the scope of this usage and utilization of services is very high, and that is why I'm making these videos on the self-help diagnostics so that people are aware how they can leverage and utilize and get the help faster and don't have to wait for support to get the help on any of those areas or any of those issues, right, that they are facing, right? So today I'm going to show you the self-help for Teams administrators and end users, right? So how Teams admins can go ahead and help their end users, as well as how end users can go through those self-help diagnostics themselves and try to resolve issues, right? And it's obvious that end users are not technical enough. They don't know things, how to do it, how it works, or what are the steps that they need to take. And that is why Teams admins and the people who are on the position to go ahead and resolve those issues, help those people, and work on it, right? So that way, it's going to be easy for those people as well, right? So let me share my screen quickly, and I will go ahead and show you to how we can go ahead and leverage those self-help diagnostics to resolve those issues or any kind of issues across Microsoft Teams, right? So this is the Microsoft Learn page, right? And here you can see that it's mentioned completely Teams and end users for Microsoft Teams administrators, and you would see different scenarios which are currently covered by Microsoft, right? So these are related to Teams only, right? And there are some additional help around Teams as well. So you can go ahead and watch, read and learn more about it, right? And this details or these diagnostics are very helpful. Let's say I wanted to track down Teams sign-in issues, right? So I would simply click on this one, open it in new tab so that I wanted to make sure I would see what is going on for that respective identity, right? So here it's asking me to sign in, and then once it is verified, then we would be able to go ahead and do that. So here's a Teams where you can see Teams guest sign-ins. So these are the different connectivity analyzers for this self-help diagnostics, right? At the same time, you can see the Teams Exchange integrations, and you can run all of these different diagnostics to identify issues and resolve those on yourself, right? So even if that is something you identify the issue, but still there is something which is stuck or which is not working as expected, and probably the issue could be from the backend side. In that case, definitely the Microsoft support is going to be able to help us to find that issue from the backend system, and they have to probably raise it to either PG team or any other team which actually works on those kind of scenarios and issues, right? So this is one of the diagnostics for Teams sign-in. Similarly, you can see Teams meeting recordings, right? You wanted to see then Teams presence based on calendar events, and you can simply go ahead and track those down or check and validate, right? So let's say I wanted to check the team sign in, right? I will click on this one to sign in, and I'll give it email address and I will log in. All right, so it's logged in and specify the target username, right? So I wanted to target the username over here. What this user account is going to be, this user should be the one which you're trying to check and validate, right? Where that respective user is facing issues, right? And it's going to allow us to check, right? So based on that, you can simply go ahead and verify this one. Perfect. Now you are verified and the session can be active for next 30 minutes. And once done, there is a button called perform test. So now it's going to run this test. So once this test is verified successfully, it's going to give us all the different stages and results and show us what exactly is the issue with. And it's also going to show what would be the error or what is the problem on the respective identity, or if there's any other issue on specific service for Teams meetings or Teams sign-ins or Teams callings and any of those, right? So as I said, there are a bunch of diagnostics which we can check and test for the individual user accounts, right? For example, Teams Android tests phone sign-ins. Similarly, Teams federation and interoperability. This is also very important and helpful for many cases wherein different organizations do have federation or they wanted to communicate and utilize the same with the different users, right? So here you need to specify the SIP address of the internal Teams users who is attending or attempting to reach or chat with the external user, and specify the SIP address of the target external user, right? So it's going to show that one, right? What's happening or what is going to happen. For example, I'll click on sign in button and give it a email address and I will sign in. And let's see. Oh, seems password was wrong. All right, it should complete. Perfect. So it is signed in, and here we need to give a user account who is trying to communicate or chat with external user, right? So I will try my account. And here's another account that I would simply let's give it the okay, perfect. So now I'm trying to chat from this identity to this legacy, not legacy, but consumer domain, right? Which is hotmail.com. Now I have already verified my authentication or session. It's active for 30 minutes, so I'm good to test this as well, right? So this is going to check the federation between my domain to the external consumer identity, right? And similarly, the one which I ran, here you can see connectivity test successful with some warnings, right? You can see that we get to see each and every step of the verification and validation of this test, right? And These details may be not easy to understand and learn, right? Because if you don't understand what is it, you need to learn and know. And these details would help to check on the deeper dive to understand what is the problem or where is the problem. For example, user account is enabled for sign in, right? And there's warning which says confirming if the user has any conditional access policies. If the user does not have some conditional access policies, please confirm unsupported policies are not configured for Teams devices. And then there is some other information which says for Azure AD conditional access policies containing unsupported controls, you can exclude these devices by using device filters. So this is a warning. It is giving us the details, what actions you can take to remediate any of those potential issues or blockers, right? So this way, it's going to help us identify, check, and then we should be able to validate what's wrong or where is the blocker, right? So this was the one of the scenario, and here is the another scenario, right? Which says that send a request on behalf of Teams administrator this to reach to search for external user account. This one failed to discover the external account. It says failed to discover external Teams user account through external user search process. Please double check the correctness of the external SIP address you have provided. Now, in this case, this is a consumer domain, right? Probably we can just go back and try searching other identity instead of this one. Let's say I would also here's the option. Here you can see there are a bunch of options. The same identity is not work or school account, right? So you can say Microsoft Teams Personal or Skype Consumer, Skype for Business, and you have to select Teams Personal, right? So once you select that one, you would be able to simply perform the test. Now let it run and it should validate whether user is able to reach out or not. Perfect. You can see that this has validated that this particular user has appropriate capability to reach out to that consumer domain, which is a personal Teams account, right? So this way, it is going to be helpful for IT pros as well as anyone who is working on such scenarios or such requirements, right? So this is really helpful for those people to identify, and once everything is working, and even after that also there are issues, then probably there is something we should be able to reach out to the Microsoft and get help from their side, right? So yeah, that is all. That's what I wanted to show you and talk about. And also you can see that there are many other self-help diagnostics which we can use and for different requirements or different scenarios to test out and try to identify issues and resolve those issues as well, right? So give it a thought and try to access and try to resolve any issues you might have seen or you are facing with. And definitely it's going to help you to remediate issues and resolve any of those. And you might not have to reach out to Microsoft support because that's the first place to identify and resolve those issues as well, right? And on the same page here, you can see Exchange, Skype for Business, and common errors in MCRA diagnostics. So you can go through these as well to get yourself aware about these things and learn how you can resolve those issues effectively so that you don't have to wait and rely for any of those issues, right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you and talk about. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned something new. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any doubts, anything that you wanted to talk about, anything or any other topic you wanted to cover on. across Microsoft 365, Azure, and any other topics that you wanted to learn and know about it, right? So, yep, that's all for this video. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and people around you, and subscribe to the channel as well so that you get to see every new video whenever it is uploaded, right? So that's all for this. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.